Good evening and welcome to the April 26th Central Unified School Board meeting. I'll be calling the meeting to order at 6:04. Attendance, let the record show all trustees are present. And item C, adoption of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Creel, a second by Mr. Singh. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Moving on to comments from the public. Do we have any calls holding?
Would you like me to set 30 seconds on the clock?
Yes, please.
Thirty seconds have passed and we have no comments by phone at this time.
Thank you, sir. With that, I'll adjourn the meeting into closed session. Thank you very much. All righty, I'll be calling the meeting back in session. Ms. Davis, do you want to report out from closed session?
Yes, item E2, there was a motion by trustee Carrillo, a second by trustee Brooks, and the vote was 7-0 pass. E3, a motion by trustee Carrillo, second by trustee Brooks as well. Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item G, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Chan? Oh, sorry. Item H1, Student Recognition.
All right, it is my pleasure to recognize some students for their incredible writing. And we have a Young Authors Fair that is conducted every year, and the county reception is next week on Wednesday, May 4th, where these students' books that were written will be presented and celebrated. And so I would like, when I share who our Exemplary Award winners are, for the students and teachers to come up. And I thank all of the parents and family members as well that are here to celebrate these amazing writers. And so Exemplary class book for K-5 is to Mrs. Hang's second grade class at Polk Elementary School. They put together a 5-step guide to living with your pet rock. And how exciting. I had heard only a couple of you could make it, and I see all sorts of writers standing up, so this is great. Let's give them a hand for their incredible authorship. And you know what, oh, they're already coming. All right, we'll have you come up, and then I'll do the next two. Congratulations. I'm going to show them a copy of your book. Good job. Congratulations. I hope to see you guys writing again next year. Might write your own book next year, right? Good job. Good job. Great job, baby. Hey, good job. Do you want to pass these over as well so you guys can see the covers of their books? Mr. Maley, do you want to pass that to one to you and then one to... Let's give them another round of applause and their parents as well for the support. And Ms. Ragosa as well, principal of the school. Thank you so much, Mrs. Hang, for getting your students started in writing. I hope they return with their own books. So let's talk about that for a minute. We have a K-5 nonfiction exemplary winner, Sophia Barami, third grader from River Bluff Elementary, wrote a book. Let me make sure I get it right. The Outdoor Adventure of Sophia Barami. And teacher, Miss Mahoney, and principal, Mrs. Bergman, they're here to support, as well as family, it looks like. So congratulations on your writing. And before you come up, I also want to acknowledge our Exemplary Illustrator Award. I believe that Dante's not able to be here this evening. I don't see anyone mentioning, but Dante Guerrero, a sixth grader from our Central Online Homeschool, was also recognized as an illustrator. And I just passed out, students, so you know we gave a picture of the cover of each of your books. So Sophia and Mrs. Hang's class, we gave everybody a copy so they can see at least the cover of your book to get excited about what's inside. So Sophia, we'd love to celebrate you, congratulate her, and have her come up as well. I know, but you were there encouraging it. And family members that are here, I hope that you attend next week's celebration down at the county to recognize Central students at that event. And I can't wait to see all of these students return next year with their own books. Congratulations.
All right, moving on to item 2, employee recognition.
I'm doing this one too tonight, and you'll understand why in just a minute. First off, I would love for Miss Robles to come in. I think I saw her earlier. Come on up, please. And I'm going to tell you why she's coming up. She's a preschool teacher for us at Roosevelt. If Principal Fleming and our program specialist, Ms. Peterson, are here as well, I think. Oh, there they are. Thank you for being here in support. Michelle is a longtime employee. She's been an instructional aide at El Capitan and currently is one of our inclusion preschool teachers. So she's been in helping us out, working for a long time with our students. She received a nomination from our Fresno County autism specialist, and the nomination, fabulous, they're recognizing her, but then it required her to do a handful of extra steps. And so she had to provide various pieces of evidence to show consistent implementation of an evidence-based practice. She implemented and received this award for functional communication training. And according to our autism specialist, she is the second teacher ever in all of Fresno County to receive this award. And I'd like to read just briefly. This is an award given by CAPTAIN, which is the California Autism Professional Training and Information Network. You may have seen on social media, we were bragging about her recently for this award. And Principal Fleming wrote, Ms. Robles is innovative and caring. She's constantly educating her colleagues and staff about the unique challenges her students face and helping us all see how our students view the world from their own perspective. She celebrates that perspective and is on the cutting edge of turning our traditional views of autism upside down and helping people see the beauty of an autistic child's world. Congratulations, and thank you so much for what you do for our students, Michelle. I'd like to present Mrs. Robles to you. And I see she has a team of support, or a tribe back there, all there supporting. So thank you for all that you do. And then next, I would like to have two individuals come up who last night were recognized at the Association of California School Administrators Recognition Ceremony. Mr. Collegian, Administrator of the Year for Personnel and Human Resources, was recognized as an expert resource for handling personnel matters and addressing potential legal risks. He was identified by many as an effective communicator of information and policy. He has helped us incredibly through a trying time of all things COVID-19 related, and is known as a mentor to new and veteran leaders. And Region 9 recognized him for those accomplishments yesterday evening. Let's give him a hand. And then I'll let our next one come up and then both come together. So Mrs. Pennington, Christine Pennington, principal at Madison, Administrator of the Year as an elementary principal. At Madison has acquired the Bonner Foundation Award, Fresno County Gold Level, California State Silver Level for positive behavior and supports, and their after-school program has been nominated for After-School Program of the Year in Fresno County. It was noted in her recognition that during the pandemic, Mrs. Pennington worked to ensure that her students were able to engage in learning at home. This included dropping off Chromebooks and hotspots to families that weren't able to pick them up, implementing school-wide systems that included personal phone calls to families and checking on kids every single day, along with many other things. We are proud of both Mr. Collegian and Mrs. Pennington, and now you know why I'm doing this award rather than Mr. Collegian doing it. Instead of awkward silence, how about we give a big round of applause for all of our recipients this evening. Thank you so much.
For the next item, President Solis asked me to have CUDA, or if our teachers union has anything they'd like to share.
Yes, we have Judy Martinez with CUTA. Judy, if you can hear us, we're ready for you whenever you are. I believe we're having technical difficulties. It appears Judy's talking, but we can't hear her, so we're working to sort those out. I apologize, Judy, if you can hear me.
Are we able to move on to CSEA, or is it the same problem?
So CSEA is also on the same Zoom call. We can try Angie to see if we can patch her through. Angie, if you can hear us, can you speak? It looks like Angie's talking. We can't hear her either.
All
So
right.
the tech department or our tech team here is working to get it situated.
Can we go old school and can they call in on a telephone and we'll just use the
Absolutely.
microphone?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Kayla and Bradley, am I able to just use my cell phone if they call me and it will go out to public as well? Thank you. Okay, ready.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Good evening, Board Trustees, and good evening, Superintendents. I'd say welcome back, but you guys never left. Thank you for continuing your hard work during our spring break. Kuda would like to recognize also the hard work of our Authors Fair winners, and a huge congratulations to them, and of course their teachers. I need to say this because their work needs a bright light shown on them. So congratulations to Mrs. Hang's class. I can't wait to read that book. Congratulations to Dante Guerrero. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, is this our first award for our online homeschool? If it is, woohoo. If it's not, it's still wonderful. Congratulations. And of course, third grader, Sophia Barami from River Bluff. Exemplary awards are not hard to come by, and all well-deserved. We're very proud of you. And of course, I cannot neglect the appreciation and the thanks to Mr. Collegian and Ms. Pennington for all the hard work that they do for our teachers on a daily basis. You too received a very well-deserved award. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our heart, from everything you do. Thank you. I'm going to take just a few moments to just share some of the positives that were shared at our last IREP meeting. I should have shared these at your last board meeting, but I was on spring break as well. So McKinley wanted me to let you know that their student council broadcasts a weekly news segment that is really awesome, and it's engaging their classes. They share different activities around the school and in the classrooms. They interview the various personnel. They show videos, and always with the theme. It's very impressive, and students love being involved in it. And at River Bluff, Mrs. Mahoney had shared also how proud she was of her little third grade student. And apparently at River Bluff, they had over 40 submissions to the Young Authors Fair. I'm sure we had school-wide or district-wide quite a few because we always represent. And in Steinbeck, the positives that were shared: one school, one book, The Adventures of a South Pole Pig, with chapters read by school staff and posted on Parent Square daily by the principal. And they had numerous Authors Fair entries as well, and winners. And they had spring sports tryouts with a large new cheer squad, and the staff was very happy to report out on that. I was remiss. I also want to congratulate Educator from Roosevelt, Michelle Robles. I recently had the honor of going by there and taking a look at the autism program and what our TK teachers were doing out there, and what they are doing in addition with the speech therapist is nothing short of amazing. If you have a chance, board members, meander out there and take a look. I can see why she won that award. And lastly, I want to end with, on the agenda tonight, you have Educator of the Week, not Educator, I'm sorry, educators, celebrating educators this year. It's on the agenda. And this year's theme for California Teachers Association is California Educators at the Heart of Communities, Powering Our Future. So we thank you for acknowledging our educators, and you know as well as I do how difficult this year and last year has been, and they truly deserve to be recognized. I also want to make sure that everyone knows that classroom educators, it's not just about classroom educators. Our educators are also our psychologists, our speech therapists, our nurses, our certificated librarians, our academic counselors, and our intervention counselors. We honor them on the Week of Educator as well. So that's all I have for you tonight, board members. Thank you again. Good evening.
Thank you. Moving on to item B, CSEA. Are we still having the same phone issue?
I believe the issues have been resolved, but Angie is no longer on the call.
Okay, let's give her a few minutes to call
She's
in.
calling my phone. She's going to
Okay.
do it the old.
Hi, good evening, everyone. As most of you know, we settled on a tentative agreement with the district. Our members were very pleased with the outcome, and we want to give a special thank you to Mr. Collegian, Mr. Cuellar, and Mrs. Romero for working with us to get this done. Took a lot of hard work and effort from both sides, and we really appreciate it. And also, today is Bus Driver Appreciation Day. I'd like to give a shout out to all our bus drivers for all their hard work and for everything they do to make sure our kids are safe and they get to school on time. We appreciate them. And congratulations to everybody that you guys talked about today. What an awesome job. What a great district. We are accomplishing all good things. Thank you. And have a good evening.
Thank you. Moving on to item I, Superintendent Board Communication, Ms. Davis.
All right. Welcome back. Spring break has ended, and here we are. The Committee to Study School Names had its first session today for input. Small group of individuals that attended. We have more events coming. We also have over 130 people that have participated in the survey online, so we know the information is getting out there to collect input. The session certainly will go over the information collected of the subcommittee of the board, and the next meeting is Thursday at 5 in the evening at Glacier Point Middle School's library if anybody is interested in participating. As was noted, today was Bus Driver Appreciation Day. I see Mr. Bath in the audience. He and his team put on a great event that we got to drop by and see all the bus drivers being recognized and celebrated, and leading into, the month of May, as was mentioned, May 1st through 7th. You'll see tonight on the consent agenda a resolution for Educator Appreciation Week, which includes an enormous amount of our team that works around and wraps around services for students, including our teachers, and then also a Classified Employee Week, May 15th through 21st, and that is We Are Classified, We Bring It Every Day. I know Ms. Martinez just shared the theme for At the Heart of Communities, Powering Our Future is the theme for the Educator Appreciation Week. Also on the agenda under resolutions is a resolution for Mental Health Matters Month. We've talked quite a bit about the importance of mental health, and we'll use this month to bring the reality and raising awareness about mental health and the resources that we have as part of the work of that resolution. Last, I do want to kind of hot off the press announce that today we received word that Central Unified was selected as a recipient of the 2022 California Pivotal Practice Award. We are the only district to receive it in Fresno County. There are some schools that received it. You may be familiar with the Distinguished School Award. The criteria for Distinguished School without having assessments could not be planned out or executed in the way it was, and so they offered a Pivotal Practice Award. I see Mr. Horseman in the audience, if he can wave. Our Ed Services team, as you know, during the pandemic, adjusted professional development and created, under his guidance, and Cindy Escondone, one of our instructional coaches, a team of teachers who built curriculum to help teach teachers how to work online with students and resources for parents or kids. And the state has recognized it. So pretty exciting for Central Unified, and thank you for all of the teachers and coaches and leaders that put together the online platform for both synchronous and asynchronous training. I hear we're getting a flag. And that's all for me.
Thank you. Any board members having any statements under this item? Ms. Creel?
This Saturday is the Janessa Ramirez Scholarship event, so if you haven't purchased your ticket, board members or community, please do so. It supports our Central Unified students in providing them scholarships. And if you are attending, I will see you there.
Thank you. Any other board members? Mr. Chan?
This Sunday, I got to participate with a number of my sort of Armenian friends during an Armenian Genocide memorial. April is an extremely important month for us to remember what was done by the Ottoman Turkish government, the continued denial by the Turkish government today, but really just honor so many families, so many friends, and so many near and dear ones, in some ways to remember the events that had such a huge impact across the world, but really kind of shaped our valley, our district, our city, and so many of us in profound ways. So I just wanted to maybe ask for a minute of silence just in memory of those loss and just how it has reverberated across the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members? Hearing none, moving on to the next item. Ms. Brooks, do we have anybody in the auditorium that wishes to speak? No? Okay. Any calls holding for public comment?
Not at the moment. Would you like me to set 30 seconds on the clock?
Yes, please.
"30 seconds have passed, and we have no comments by phone at this time."
All righty, thank you very much. Moving on to item K, consent agenda. What is the, do I have a motion to approve? A motion to approve by Mr. Chan. Is there a second?
Second.
I heard, okay. Ms. Creel, second by Ms. Creel. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Ms. Lopez, can you call the next item?
We're beginning our action items. First action item is L1, Student Discipline, case number 21-22-016, case number 21-22-018, and case number 21-22-019.
Thank you. What's the preference of the board? Motion to approve. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? There is a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Can you call the next item, please?
Next item on the agenda is L2, accept gifts to the district. Mr. McLean.
Thank you. So tonight we have two gifts that we're recognizing for Justin Garza High School. The school received a donation of $225 from the Central Track and Field Cross Country Booster Club for the Justin Garza High School cross country program, and also a donation of $250 from King Indian Restaurant for the ASB fund. And administration is recommending that the board accept these gifts to the district.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or statement by the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Mr. Paul. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Creel. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nays? The ayes have it. Ms. Lopez, can you call the next item?
Next item on the agenda is L3, approve increasing graduation opportunities for students with disabilities. Mr. Paliugi and Mr. Diaz.
I'll actually take that item. This returns to you from the prior meeting and presentation. We are recommending approval so we can begin implementation for the new course sequence that was shared last meeting, following the answer of any questions you may have.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions or statements by the board? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Creel. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Cervantes. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Ms. Lopez, can you call the next item?
Next item on the agenda is L4, approve tentative agreement between Central Unified School District and California School Employees Association, CSEA, Chapter 474. Mr. Collegian.
Thank you, Board of Trustees. I'm happy to report that a tentative agreement has been reached between Central Unified and CSEA Chapter 474 with regards to the current collective bargaining agreement. The new tentative agreement with updated language and financials are attached to this item. On April 25th, 2002, CSEA did in fact ratify the agreement as well. The administration is recommending the board approve this item. Happy to answer any questions the board may have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or statements on this item from the board? Mr. Maley?
Yeah, I've just got one question, Jack. So as I see it, CSEA classified steps 4 and 5 are getting the 5.5% plus plus the steps also being increased by another 2.5%. But yet the classified confidential salary schedule, step 4 and 5, are only getting 5.5%. With the last restructuring of the CSEA classified salary schedule a few years ago, now this additional 2.5% for the top two steps. Why has the confidential salary schedule not been adjusted equally? Are the wages not increased in the same rate?
Confidential meaning unrepresented at
Yes.
the next item?
Yeah.
So those step and columns are equal as they advance from one column to the next.
Okay.
The adjustment for CSEA salary schedule, in a previous bargain, we had negotiated the elimination of what was minimum wage at that time, and with the allotment of finances we had at that time to make the deal work, we had to squeeze both column 4 and 5 to 2.5% to advance. So essentially in this bargain, we made that whole again. So the steps between 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and to 5 are now equally 5% different from one another, a 5% increase from one step going all the way to step 5.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board or statements? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion to approve by Ms. Creel. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Chan. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Ms. Lopez, can you call the next item?
Next item on the agenda is L5, approve compensation modifications for unrepresented employees, management, supervisor, and confidential, MSC. Mr. Collegian.
Thank you again. Terms of employment for compensation modification for certificated management, classified management, supervisory, confidential employees are attached to this item. This item also includes the reclassification of all Central Unified GIAs and program specialists to be reclassified to vice principals and supervisors respectively. Administration is recommending the board approve this item. Happy to answer any questions the board may have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or statements by the board? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Mr. Cervantes. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Brooks. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Ms. Lopez, can you call the next item?
Next item on the agenda is L6, approve April's quarterly Williams Uniform Complaint Procedure. Mr. Horstman.
Good evening. So this is our annual Williams Uniform Complaint Procedure. Our principals and departments compile information for this quarterly report. The Williams settlement establishes a standard of accountability, and administration is recommending that the board hold a public hearing and then approve the Williams Uniform Complaint Procedure.
Thank you, sir. We'll go ahead and hold the public hearing now. Opening the public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak to this item?
We have no comments by phone at this time. Would you like me to set 30 seconds on the clock?
Yes, please.
"30 seconds have passed and we have no comments by phone at this time."
Thank you, sir. Closing public hearing now. Is there any comments or statements by the board on this item? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Ms. Creo. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Chan. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Ms. Lopez, can you call the next item?
Next item on the agenda is L7, approve district representatives for the State Center Adult Education Consortium. Dr. Boatwright.
And on this item, this is the signature page for the State Center Adult Education Consortium. It's an annual document, and it just identifies again this year that Mr. Robinson, principal of class, and Ms. Fairchild, GIA at class, are the members who will participate in the Adult Ed Consortium. It is an annual submission, so it is coming straight to action for you so that it can be submitted on time and they can participate in the next session.
Thank you. Any questions or statement from the board on this item? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve. I got a motion by Mr. Cervantes. Is there a second?
Second.
Who said that? Oh, a second by Trustee Paul. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Ms. Lopez, can you call the next item?
Next item on the agenda is L8, approve SIF designees to represent Central Unified School District. Mr. Collegian.
Thank you. Education Code Section 33353 gives the authority for the governing board to designate CIF league representatives. The board-approved league representatives are the only individuals who would be allowed to vote on issues at the league and both at the section level that impact athletics in Central Unified School District. The attached document has the following people as listed as voting members for CIF. For Central East Campus, Rayshawn Hightower, Athletic Director. For Justin Garza High School, Hovig Tarigian, Athletic Director. For Central High School, David Holterman, Principal at Central High School. And alternate voting member would be the Director of District Athletics, Mr. Darren Pittman for Central Unified School District. The list of recommended CIF representatives is attached for your review. Administration is recommending approval of this item. Thank you very much, and happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or statements by the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Creel. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Chan. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. It passes. Can you call the next item, please?
Next item on the agenda is discussion and approve participants for the superintendent search interview panel. We received, or I should say, on March 22nd, the Board of Trustees directed staff to send out an application to our community to see if they would like to participate in the interview panel for the next district superintendent. We received 37 applications from the community and parents, and we actually had one of those was actually a parent who submitted their application twice. And we had 8 applicants for our student panel. Our CSEA group were tasked to submit names from their organization. So we have Alex Lopez, Angie Aguirre, and Philip Chacon as an alternate. CUDA was asked to submit names as well. We have Twilight Lawrence, Melinda Scott, Judy Martinez, with alternates being Laura Bolton, Bernice Hernandez, Kapu Singh. The principals were tasked with selecting a representative for their group, which was Ms. Erin Gunstream and Ms. Michelle Bergman as the alternate. Our district administrators were also tasked with selecting candidates. They selected Mr. Collegian with Ms. Nora Ceballos as the alternate. Attached are the applicants through each trustee area and then the students for you to select the participants to be on the panel.
Thank you, ma'am. So I sort of think the best way to do this is we'll divide it into 2 votes. One vote for the staff approving the staff representatives as indicated, and then a second vote on each one of the areas for they can pick their representative. Does that sound like a process we can use? Okay. So on the first vote, it will be, is there a discussion on the staff members indicated? Any questions or about them? Ms. Creel?
I understand why we have alternates. I don't recall that we asked for alternates, so is the board comfortable with also approving alternates, and are we going to do the same for anyone that we select for our areas?
Board, weigh in. How do you feel about this?
I think because of the schedule, it makes sense to have an alternate in place. That's just my perspective.
Okay.
Rather than have to come back to the table and select someone else, I think that makes sense.
Okay, so if the primary representative is unable to attend, he would notify Ms. Lopez, and then she would notify an alternate?
That's acceptable.
Is that okay? Okay, so that's what we'll do then. Sorry, Ms. Lopez. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the names submitted for staff.
Motion to approve.
Okay. That was Mr. Maley? Motion by Mr. Mayling. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Paul. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The staff, as indicated, is approved. Moving on to voting on your area representatives. You can move to those names now. And Ms. Lopez, we pick one name from each one of these lists?
Yes, and if you would also like to select an alternate, just in case that person is unavailable, what I will do is I will notify everyone tomorrow that they have been selected in addition to the alternates, and letting them know that should someone not be able to attend, to please contact us the day before so that we can contact the alternate so they can be available.
All righty.
Would you like me to start off with Trustee Area 1?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Area 1 is Mr. Pauls.
So I'm to select the primary and an alternate?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the primary would be Zara Sellers.
Okay. And your alternate?
And the alternate would be Courtney Grimm.
Thank you. Area 2, Trustee Carrillo.
First, I want to thank my community for submitting their applications. I really appreciate the number of applications I received and the thoughtful response as to why they want to serve. My appointee is Preston Van Camp, and my alternate is Gray Andrea.
Thank you. Trustee Area 3, Mr. Cervantes.
I too want to thank all that applied. They're all worthy, but my selection would be number 1, Tasha Johnson, and number 2, Justina, if I'm saying McPine.
Thank you. Trustee Area 4, Mrs. Brooks.
Mary Millalore is my first one.
Okay, and your alternate?
And my alternate is, the name is spelled T-H-A-O.
Oh, Tao?
Tao.
Tolu.
Mhm.
Thank you. Trustee Area 5, Mr. Solis.
My primary will be Kay Carr. And then the second will be, or the alternate will be Stormy Baker.
Trustee Area 6, Mr. Mailing.
Yeah, so I just had one. So my primary will be Gina Sellers. But my question is, my alternate, could I use an at-large individual that submitted an application?
Actually, we have in Trustee Area 4, the four submissions there were all at large. So we actually have 2 additional one, which is Ms. Fight and Ms. Golden, if you would like to select one of them as your alternate.
Boy, I haven't read any of theirs, but Ms. Golden sounds fine.
Okay. Trustee Area 7, Mr. Chan.
My primary will be Lorena Manriquez de Aguilera, and my alternate would be Sarah de la Rosa.
And now we come to our student applicants.
President Solis.
I'm looking at the list right now.
Are we selecting one for each area? It's just one
no,
student?
one student, so it'd be one and then an alternate.
Right. So can we have a discussion? Are there any nominations? Because I have one.
Yeah, I have one
Yeah.
as well.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to nominate Christopher Alvarez.
Christopher Alvarez. Do you have a statement with that as well, or do you just want to make a nomination?
I mean, I can make a statement. I mean, it's first, I want to thank all the students that submitted their applications. For me, I was interested in, I mean, this wasn't an easy decision. Everyone is very involved, and they are committed to our community. I really liked their response, and that's why I'm nominating them.
Thank you. Mr. Maylin, did you have a nomination?
Yeah, I was going to nominate Emmy Monroe, and reason being is I think she's doing a pretty good job as ASB president for the East Campus, and she came and spoke a couple times, and I just thought she'd be a good representative.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? All right, basically we have two. Let's have a show of hands for everyone that wants Mr. Alvarez.
Hey, voting against.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Voting against him.
1, 2, 3. We have 3 for Mr. Alvarez. And that's going to leave, well, Ms. Monroe. Show of hands. 1, 2. Are you voting, Mr. Chan?
Oh,
That's so
it's
tough.
like a toss-up. Yeah, I'll do Miss Monroe. That's fine.
Okay, that's 3 there.
It's a
4.
I don't know how to decide.
Ms. Monroe has it.
So can I request that we designate Ms. Monroe as our appointee, and as our alternate, we designate Mr. Alvarez?
Does that consensus? Yes. Okay,
Thank you.
he'll be the alternate.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
You want to approve? You
Pardon?
want a motion to approve them?
Okay, motion to approve the candidates as chosen.
I move to approve.
Motion by, to
Second.
approve by Ms. Creo. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Chan. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Can you call the next item?
Next, we will have our information items. First item is M1, receive information on core or supplemental instructional materials for K-12 courses. Mr. Horstman.
Yes, thank you, Board of Trustees. This is a request for approval for instructional materials. The District Professional Consultation Committee, called the PCC, reviews these materials. It's comprised of teachers and content experts that review and recommend instructional materials for approval based off the determination that such materials are effective learning resource. Our district PCC committees, 2 in this case, have reviewed, piloted, and requested these items for use beginning with the 22-23 school year. Administration recommends this item be placed on the May 10th, 2022 board agenda for action.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or statements from the board? Hearing none, I'll place this item on consent unless I hear any objections.
Thank you.
It is on consent. Thank you, sir.
Next item on the agenda is M2, receive information regarding piggyback contract with Robert V. Jensen Incorporated for fuel purchases. Mr. McLean and Mr. Bath.
Thank you. So this item is being recommended to use the Clovis Unified School District piggyback contract for delivery and supply of diesel and gasoline fuel for the district vehicles. This piggyback bid was awarded in May of 2018 to RV Jensen and is available through June of 2023 on an extension. Administration is recommending this item be placed on the May 10th board agenda for action, and be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or statements from the board? Ms. Creel.
So I know what a piggyback contract is, but can you explain how it works in this situation? Because I reviewed the documents, and what's unclear to me is how the district, I guess how that price gets locked in, because it talks about like a Fresno price and a local, and then still having a percentage profit margin. So how is piggybacking on this contract in an environment where oil and gas is constantly increasing? How is that advantageous and any better than the contract we have now?
Mr. Bath?
Okay, so the way the piggyback works in this sense, we're not getting a locked-in price on a price per gallon. What we're getting is locked in on a discount per gallon. So that's the way the piggyback works. Some other entities have gone out to bid, and that typically is how it works because, like you said, the price per gallon does fluctuate. So what this does is lock us into a discount rebate per gallon of diesel or gasoline.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Have we checked into alternatives like an E85 of some sort? And follow up with that, I kind of agree with Ms. Carrillo in a sense that if we use a lot of fuel here, if we were to buy, whether it's a truckload or a rail car at a time, wouldn't that be the same as saving or jumping on a piggyback and being committed with one vendor?
So right now, we don't get any type of discount. We are getting more of a market rate, which you'll see kind of what we might get at the gas pump. What this does is we actually get locked into the OPUS rate, which is actually quite a bit cheaper. So we actually get it at the wholesale price, if you would, and then we get the discount applied on top of that for gas and fuel. And we do buy typically by the truckload, so we're going to get about 8,000 gallons of diesel and about 2,000 gallons of gas.
Okay, thanks. What about the alternative?
So the buses right now, we can go to biodiesel, but we would have to do some upgrades to our infrastructure because we'd have to get a new tank. That stuff we always do look at, but again, with grants, typically that's something we'll look at doing. And that's, as time goes on, we'll look at it. E85 right now is not a viable option.
Mr. Paul?
So when we have fuel delivered, there's the cost of the fuel and then the delivery charge, correct?
Yes, it's all included in that cost, so yes.
So that's included in the cost?
Mm-hmm.
So that cost, how does that compare to the price at the pump?
I wish I had this pulled up already, I'm sorry. So I can tell you based on the OPUS price that was on April 21st, we would have paid, sorry, there's a few pages of this. We would have paid $3.97 for gas. I don't have the price of what we paid for it, but I can tell you it is on average. Right now this year we're paying more than that. I just don't have that price in front of me.
Okay. So our combined price of getting the fuel delivered and the cost of the fuel is more than the price at the pump.
We'll be getting it for less.
Say it again.
We get it for less.
We get it for less?
Yes, we'll get it for less.
Okay, so you just don't know the difference?
I don't have the dollar per gallon we're getting currently with our current vendor.
I just wanted to make sure that was the case. Thank you.
Yeah, it will be lower with the new contract.
Any other questions? Would the board like this item to come back as an action, and perhaps staff can bring back some numbers, or do you feel comfortable using it as consent? Consent?
I'm fine with consent. I think I would just clarify, if I understood you correctly, which addresses Trustee Paul's question, the contract is a contract for a discount. So whatever the price may be, we're always going to get a price lower than what us normal people pay at the pump because of that discounted component of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do have, like, let's say compared to what we would pay at the gas or at the gas pump for just regular gas, we would get it at, like I said, that $3.97, but we would have paid on that day, on April 21st, it would have been Like, let's just go with Shell, 410. That's what Shell would have been charging, and they could even have more markups. This is kind of like the seller sheet that we get. So that's already at a discount than what we would be paying, or what typically would see.
Thank you. I have no problem with consent. I don't know if any trustee is requesting action.
Okay. Can staff please pay attention to Mr. Paul's question for future items being brought up to have that, what the current price that we're paying for future events? I'll go ahead and place this on consent. Can you call the next item?
Next item on the agenda is M3, receive information regarding Resolution 21/22-47, emergency efficiency loans. Mr. McLean.
Thank you. So the board will recall last fall that we approved an energy savings project for the installation of LED interior lighting systems at 22 sites throughout the district. That was with SiteLogic was the company, and we are working with them on our projects currently and are anticipating the CEC, California Energy Commission loan that was talked about back in the fall is coming up for application here in the next month or two. And so there's a resolution that's required to get that zero interest loan, which is very helpful to us. And the loan would be repaid over a 15-year period out of the savings resulting from the project. So if you remember, there was a savings analysis that was done at the time that the project was brought forward. And so this would be net of the savings, resulting in still a positive savings cash flow. So the recommendation is for this item to be placed on the May 10th board agenda, and be happy to answer any questions on this item.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or statements from the board? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and place this on consent.
Next item on the agenda is M4, receive information regarding furniture purchases for expanded enrollment at Justin Garza High School and for transitional kindergarten. Mr. McLean.
Thank you. So, as was mentioned, we are purchasing furniture for next school year for Justin Garza High School. You know, we're adding another grade. We're going from grades 9 and 10 this year to grades 9, 10, and 11 next year. So we have additional students that will be increasing the enrollment at the school. In addition, the transitional kindergarten in California is expanding in the fall from a 3-month program to the 5-month program, which will mean more TK students in our schools in the fall. And so we're getting ready for that. So we have used Meteor in the past on a piggyback. If you recall, last year the board approved purchase of furniture for the opening of the high school. And so our facilities team has been working closely with Meteor Education to get the best furniture at the best value for our schools. And so at this time, we're recommending this item be placed on the May 10th board agenda, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Questions or statements from the board? Ms. Creel.
So I understand when we approve these piggyback contracts, we're approving it for a price list. So I just want to make sure that when we purchase any furniture for the transitional kindergarten, it's not the same desks or the same furniture that we're getting for our high school students, right? There is a discussion and a component of ensuring that we're getting furniture that meets the educational needs of the TK classroom, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, Meteor has a full-service team that comes out on site and works with our team very closely. They have design people. They have a lot of experience in education. They're actually a CSBA premier partner. So they're very well known in the education world in terms of furniture. And yes, we make sure that the furniture is age appropriate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions, statements? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and place this on consent.
Next item on the agenda is M5, receive information for employee out-of-state travel. Mr. McLean.
Thank you. This is for a out-of-state travel for our technology service and instructional service department for our two directors of those departments to attend the 2022 ISTE conference this summer. This is ISTE stands for International Society for Technology and Education. And administration is recommending this item be placed on the May 10th board agenda for action. Be happy to answer questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or statement from the board? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and place this on consent. Ms. Davis, do you have anything for item N, advanced planning?
Yes, it was caught that the change in the special board meeting has not been noted on the advanced planning calendar, but it will be modified. Please note that the next time you'll meet is May 3rd as a special meeting of the board that begins at 6 p.m., and the advanced planning calendar will be adjusted to include both the 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th, so that all of those are listed for you. Otherwise, everything on it is accurate.
Thank you. Moving on to item O, additional information. Ms. Davis, do you have anything for that? Any board members have anything they wish to state? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Creel and a second by Mr. Chan. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much for attending.